Hello guys, we're back again with another video, and it's just an exciting time for us boxing fans. There's so many fights going on, so many updates, so much to look forward to, so much anticipation. It's a great time and I'm really loving it. But let's start off by talking about the fight that took place with Vergil Ortiz and Benn. Now, when I was talking about this on my socials, on Instagram and on TikTok, Boxing with Steph, I was kind of saying that the fact that Benn, he hasn't been in the ring. Well, he's been in the ring earlier this year in May, and prior to that, his last fight was September 2023. So I was thinking, oh, he hasn't been as active, where you had Vergil Ortiz Jr., who was a lot more active and he was moving up the ranks. So I was like, this would be interesting to see how it plays out. Vergil Ortiz Jr. won with a technical knockout in the second round. And now all eyes and us boxing fans are thinking the next thing is that fight with Jaron Boots Ennis. I want to see that fight. I know many other boxing fans want to see that fight. It does seem like Jaron Boots Ennis is quite eager to make that fight, and Matchroom are quite eager to make that fight. It doesn't look like Vergil Ortiz Jr. is turning an eye to that fight. So I do hope it does go ahead. Of course, nothing's been signed, nothing is said to be set in stone, but I do hope that is the next fight that takes place. I did mention in a previous video that it was reported that that fight will take place early 2026, and fingers crossed that it does. Now, I'm putting this fight as a 50-50 fight, right? And I know many people, they may agree or they may not agree, for the simple fact that people say that Vergil Ortiz Jr. has a better resume than Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, when I think of that, I just think, how much do we consider resumes? Because if we look at the previous fights that have taken place, right? Let's look at Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley won, but everybody was saying that Joseph Parker has a better resume. If you look at Canelo and Terence Crawford won the fight, but everybody was saying that Canelo had a better resume. If you look at the fight with Dillian White and Moses Utama, everybody would say that Dillian White had a better resume, but Moses Utama won that fight. So we have seen recent fights where boxers with better resumes have not won, but the one who doesn't have, let's say, the best resume or haven't gone up against those bigger names have won. Because I was thinking about those two fights in particular with Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker, and with Canelo and Crawford. I was thinking, like, as a boxer, everybody was saying, like, oh, they were looking so much at the resume. I was thinking, but the other guy who didn't have the best resume did actually win. So, like, how much does your resume count? You know, because it's a thing that we say in boxing, like, who's he for? Oh yeah, but who's he for? But it's not always about who's he for, but it's actually like, how did they perform when they fought that big name, you know, or how did they go into the fight when they went in with that big name? And I think that's actually what matters the most. But anyways, I digress. I'm looking forward to that fight nevertheless. I hope it does happen regardless. And we're now on to the next one. We have got the rematch, Chris Eubank Jr. and Benn, 2 unfinished business. How exciting. First of all, I love the fact that the rematch is happening in the same year. What a great time. You know, I even remember their fathers had to wait a little while before they had the rematch, but these guys, they get it in the same year. I think the first fight was just so sensational. And I'm seeing many boxing fans saying that, you know, there's not been much talk about it, not much advertisement for it. And I get it, because the first fight, it had everything. You had a great build up. You had the egg slap. You had the fathers, or Chris Eubank Sr. be there. It was the ring walk, the 12 rounds, and that 12th round and the 6th round. It was beautiful. It was brilliant. The first fight, it had everything. I personally think that Benn would love to avenge that loss. He really wants to win, and he believes and he's determined that he can win. You know, I've been watching a lot of the interviews to the build up to that fight. It's one of my favorite things to do. And you know, seeing these two men really so confident and so sure of them taking the win that night, it's brilliant. And you know what? They've had the time to go back to assess what went wrong, what they could do better. And you have a Benn who believes he can avenge that loss, and he really does believe he's going to win. And mind you, if he does win, I do think there'll be a trilogy, which I'm not really mad at anyways. And then you have Chris Eubank, who is going in with a new trainer. He is going in with Brian Bomac. As you know, Brian Bomac usually trains with Terence Crawford, and they have worked together before. And so I'm really excited to see how they go into this fight. What is their game plan? What is going to be the new strategy for this fight? Regardless, it will be a great night for boxing. I am very much looking forward to it. And I'm going to talk more on it in my next video next week, to the lead up to the fight, and with all of the fight activities and events that are taking place also. I'm so excited to see how it will all play out. But you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I also want to talk about the fact that DAZN has a new subscription, the Ultimate Tier subscription, which I think is just such great value for money. It's £24.99, which includes 12 pay-per-view fights. Now, I paid £20 for the last Crescendo, and that card, if you remember that card, that was with Better Be Evan Bivol, the rematch. I thought every single fight on that card was brilliant, and I think it was so worth it, and I thought it was a bargain. And so now having this new subscription, which is £24.99, which includes 12 pay-per-view fights, which also include the Chris Eubank Conor Benn rematch, and it also includes the ring card with Benavidez and Anthony Yard are headlining. I think that's amazing. I think it's a great thing for boxing because it makes it more accessible, it makes it more affordable. It means that people are actually able to tune in and to take part, and also more casual fans or people who don't really partake in the sport, they're also able to now join and watch the fight also because it is actually so accessible. I'm going to drop the link below so that you can also purchase and you can also subscribe. But what a great time for boxing. This is a brilliant time. As always, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and we'll talk next week Wednesday.